U.S. President Donald Trump has thrown another wrench in trade negotiations with Canada. Trump is now threatening 35% tariffs on Canadian goods across the board. This comes as Americans are avoiding travel to Canada. Earlier this week, Statistics Canada reported a 10% decline in U.S. visitors to Canada by car last month. How will this impact the places that depend on those visitors? Drew Dilkens is the mayor of Windsor, Ontario, and he joins me now. Nice to see you, sir. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, JP.
So, Mayor, you're on the front lines of this trade war. What's your reaction to Trump's latest today?
Well, it's one of these unconscionable things as you're in the heart of a negotiation, whether the date of resolution is July 21st or moved to August the 1st. Clearly, there's enough chaos and disruption that's been put out into the marketplace to come forward and say, let's add 35%. I think people just scratch their head and say, where does it end? I mean, how do you treat a partner that you're negotiating with like this when you're getting down to the short strokes? No one quite understands.
Do you think that's what this is, a negotiating tactic with? Because we know the trade deadline is fast approaching, right? They've kind of set this self-imposed deadline of late July. Now they've moved it to August 1st. Do you think that's what he's trying to do with this 35% threat, is just try and squeeze more out of us by raising this now?
Oh, yeah. This is all about how much leverage can he apply, how much can he extract. You can see he's going after the dairy industry, and so there'll be decision points for our government there, steel and aluminum and copper and you name it. I mean, it's you know, in the world of things that we can control, things are going well. In the world of chaos with Donald Trump, that's where it all goes upside down. And so I'm hopeful that Prime Minister Carney and the entire team, I'm sure they're working very diligently behind the scenes to try and find a resolution. But you can see how complicated it can get when you're dealing with a partner like Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's not just these tariffs, these border-related tariffs that he's threatening to increase to 35%, right? We're dealing with the other tariffs too, the sectoral, the Section 231, right, on steel, aluminum, autos, soon copper, as you mentioned. How is Windsor faring with this tariff onslaught? A lot of those sectoral tariffs, I imagine, are particularly concerning to the folks that work in your neck of the woods.
Well, sure. And the latest unemployment numbers came out. So Windsor's up to 11.2% now. And it's all related to the uncertainty that Donald Trump has thrown into the marketplace. And so our Stellantis, our largest employer, making the Chrysler Pacifica, they're doing quite well. They're continuing to produce. But it's the downstream things that you don't see, tool, die, and mold, where they have a book of business that lasts maybe 6 months. Well, that book of business is drying up. And what that means, if there are no more molds being produced, what's getting built, 6 months from now, 8 months from now? That's the concerning point and part that people need to consider. And it's obviously disconcerting for a city like mine, a border city as close to the U.S. as two major metropolitan areas in the city of Detroit than any other two cities between our two countries. And we have a solid trading relationship. Our whole life has been built up on both sides of the border because of geography and proximity. But at the end of the day, there has to be a resolution here, because the pain that we're starting to feel in the city of Windsor, it's coming. It's coming to Detroit. It's coming to Lansing. It's coming to Indianapolis. It's just a matter of time that before the ripple in the ocean starts permeating across the border and hits communities south of the city of Windsor.
I want to ask you too about, I mentioned these cross-border trips numbers. We know that many fewer Canadians are going to the United States right now, but we're also seeing some indications that fewer Americans are also coming up north, coming our way. StatsCan reporting a 10% drop last month, more than what was reported in May. Is that having any impact on your community? Are you noticing fewer Americans coming up?
Yeah, it definitely is noticeable. We're not seeing it in the 10% range. We're seeing it more around 3%. And one of the best bellwethers that we have is Caesars Windsor, which is our largest tourist attraction here in the city of Windsor. And so a lot of Americans will cross the border because the value of their dollar allows them to pull the slot machine handle a few more times. And they're only down in business in terms of American clientele 2 to 3%. So it's not been as dramatic here in the city of Windsor as perhaps in other communities. But I think part of that may be buffered by other international tourists who are choosing to come to Canada and not the United States. And it may also be buffered by Canadians who are choosing to travel within their own country as opposed to visit the United States as well. And so all things being equal, it's not as bad as it might sound. But you know what? Even 3% means that someone's losing downstream in terms of the revenue that's not coming here.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you so much to the Mayor of Windsor, Drew Dilkens. Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you. Thanks very much.